Welcome back to the main event every single Monday. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, I'm Cody Askins.
And I'm Jacob Van Helden.
Joined by Mr. Van Helden. We are Secure Agent Mentor. We're the Secure Agent Mentor team. This is the main event. You check us out every Monday. You guys get jacked. Yeah. It motivates you for the whole freaking week,
Best start of the week that you can find.
Dude, it gets me so jacked up to be here with you, to be here with Mr. Ken, to be in this Secure Agent Mentor studio, to be here with the fans. Man, I love it. I appreciate you guys joining. We're going to jump right into the content. Today's going to be about how to ask like a salesperson. And there's a lot of people that think they're salespersons, right, and they're not really salespeople.
No.
They think they know how to ask, but they don't.
They're just going out and they're asking the wrong questions.
They just don't know how to ask.
Yeah. They're asking the right question. They're just asking it the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. And so before we dive in, I want to give a little positive comment, positive story, something to bring some light to, some positivity, to set you in the right mood, to get us in the right mood. Here's a positive story. Andrew from North Carolina pounded through our website moments before we started the show. He just said, I just wanted to say your content, website, YouTube videos, etc. are incredible and well appreciated. I know we don't work together on a contractual relationship because he's not an agent of ours.
Right.
But I am in awe of the effort you have put into this over the last year based on the number of videos you have done. Keep up the good work. Thank you for giving back to the community.
Amen.
I love to hear that, man. I absolutely love it. He goes on to talk about Facebook and how he's going to buy leads from us and stuff, but that was an awesome, positive story that I thought was great for all of us.
Yeah, well, man, that's why we're here. We're doing this to give back to the community, to the sales community, the folks who want to make a living doing what they love doing. That's why we're here. That's why we come to you every Monday at 3 o'clock to bring you this information, to bring you these goals and things to really set your business and just blow it out.
And you know what? Not everything is always 100% positive. We live in a world that isn't always 100% positive. I can tell you, you give me positive, that's going to fuel me. That's going to get me jacked up. You give me negative, that's going to fuel me. That's going to get me jacked up. I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
But I would rather positive, so I appreciate the positive feedback really, really much. I really do. Okay, so I wanted to give you a positive story. But before we start about how to ask like a salesperson, how to truly ask like a salesperson, most people aren't even salespeople. They think they're salespeople. Yeah. They're really not. And so what's awesome is I get a yes that 99% of agents would and will never get because they do not know how to properly ask questions.
Exactly.
Clients, leads, whether it's just asking questions in general, whether it's asking for the appointment, whether it's asking the tough questions, whether it's asking for the business, whether it's asking for referrals, it doesn't matter. You've got, and just because, and you know what? Maybe it helps that my last name is Askins.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that helps with the way that I ask. Maybe that just I'm able to ask better. It's in my blood. Bro. I don't know, but I promise you, I get yeses to 99% of questions that agents would never get.
And it's because you ask them the right way. That's exactly why.
It really boils down to how we ask.
Yeah, because you can always get the yes. You can be like Cody and you can get the yes.
Yeah.
You just got to ask the question the right way. And it's not hard. And that's why we're here.
That's exactly what we're going to touch on today. We're going to dive into today. You know what? Most agents make excuses for poor leads, poor production.
Oh, your leads suck.
Poor attitude, a bad day, a bad week, a bad quarter, a bad year, a bad life, whatever it is. Yeah. Most people make excuses.
And that's it.
While I get positive results.
That's exactly it.
Because, and you know what? We're going to jump into asking. But before we start asking questions, you've got to set yourself up to expect certain answers.
Assume.
Before you even think exactly.
Assume.
ASSUME. Before you even think about asking. You've got to know what answer you want, and you got to expect to get that answer.
Yeah. Well, and when you ask your questions, ask them in a way that's going to get the answer that you're looking for.
Right.
Don't leave these big open-ended questions and, I may do this, I may do that. Yeah. Be specific. Ask the tough questions, and you'll get the tough answers.
Because the other salesperson on the other side of the street isn't going to ask. They are going to cower down from asking the questions that should have been asked.
They're going to get small.
Along.
It's sad. Yeah, and really, I mean, if you think about it, they're just questions. The worst, absolute worst thing someone's going to say to you is no.
Yeah.
Really. And how many times do you hear no?
That's awesome.
I hear it 1,000 times a day.
But you know what? Most agents don't even get yeses or nos.
Yeah.
They get maybes.
They get,
I don't know. Let me think about
maybe.
it. I'm not sure.
Let me ask
I'm
my
a
wife.
loser.
Let me ask
whatever.
Yeah.
I would rather a no than a maybe. I do not walk out of. I guarantee it. Anytime I ask a question, I will never accept a maybe. No. I will never accept an I don't know. I will never accept, hey, I'm not positive. I can't give you an answer.
Those aren't answers.
I will never walk out of a home with a maybe.
No.
With let me think about it.
No.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You can't.
I promise you, when I ask every question, I get an answer. And before I leave every appointment, I'm making it a yes or a no. You know what? Let me think about it. There's a reason why you want to think about it, and I respect your opinion to think about it. What is that reason?
What is it?
Talk to me.
Just
talk to me. And you know what? By asking that and shutting up, they are going to answer my questions.
Have to.
Because we're asking that, which we're going to dive into, asking the tough questions.
You have to.
Getting answers to the questions that 99% of agents will not ask.
Will never ask.
We see appointments all the time where we go in and they say, I don't know. Let me think about it. I'm not sure. Or when you say, hey, will this be a great question. When we were doing telesales a while back, we would get questions all the time about, hey, we would ask, what is your budget?
Right.
Most people, about 80 to 90% of the time you ask that question, you're going to get in, well, I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not sure.
I don't know what my budget allows.
Right.
I'm not positive. You know what? That's a great question, but I don't know. You know what I mean? But if you proceed without getting an answer to that question, you will not make the sale.
It won't happen. It won't happen because if you don't know, because they know their budget. They're just giving you this kind of slide away because they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, give me a figure.
Give me a figure.
Ask me if I can afford it.
$50.
Absolutely. Give me another figure.
$75.
Absolutely. Give me a bigger figure.
$1,000.
Absolutely. What's the next figure?
$10,000.
I can afford it.
Okay, good.
Go bigger.
Good. $20,000.
You know what? I can afford it. Go bigger.
$100,000.
Probably can't afford it yet. So the answer is no.
There you go.
Either way, he got answers to my questions.
Until we're done.
Exactly.
Until you find it out.
It's kind of funny, but when you ask, if you do not get psychologically, you are putting it in the client's head that if you do not get an answer to that question, that it is okay to say, I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm not sure what to say, I'm not positive. We do not want to train the client to answer that way. That is not okay to do.
No, you're never going to get the sale.
Never okay.
You're never going to get the sale if they don't have to answer your questions. Because when it comes time to say, okay, are you ready to buy? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
What have you done?
After thousands of telesales, after thousands of phone calls, after thousands of in-person appointments, I am here and I can tell you that when I do not get answers to questions that I should and it can get the answer to, I don't make sales.
Nope.
By the end of that call, they think it's okay to not give answers.
Right.
To say, I don't know, let me think about it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Call me back. I train the client that is not okay.
It's not.
It is never okay in a sales pitch to accept, I don't know, I'm not sure, let me think about it.
Well, because you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
And you know what? If you continue without getting an answer to your question, you are 100% wasting your freaking time.
You're burning your money. You're burning your time. If you are sitting there accepting I don't knows, well, okay, we'll move on.
I'd rather walk out of an appointment.
Exactly. If I get 2 to 3 I don't knows and I know for a fact they will not answer my questions, I'm gone.
I'm either getting answers to the questions or I'm not proceeding because I can promise you it is an absolute waste of time. And you know what? We're going to show you how you don't have to walk out.
Right.
That you can actually get answers to those questions.
You can.
Real quick story. I had a new client that I landed last month in April. They told me, they looked me dead in the eyes, and they looked me dead in the eyes and said, Cody, because I said, okay, are you going to pay with this for a, they even said it early on. As soon as I walked in, within the first few minutes of just after the warm-up, we started fact finding. They said, hey, by the way, we don't ever pay with anything with our checking account, savings account. No one ever has those numbers. We pay everything with money order through the mail. Absolutely, that's awesome. That's great to hear. Walk around the boulder and continue. Yep. Exactly. But they told me we had a problem with our bank 40 years ago. And I'm dead serious. They had a problem with their bank back in the 70s. And they said, you know what? In the last 40 years, no one has ever taken out money out of our bank account. We've never given our bank name, routing number, account number for nothing ever. Guess what?
Who walked out of the
They're
house?
a client. The payment comes out in their checking account every month on a specific day because I know how to ask questions the right way. I know how to get the answers I want. I expect the answers that I want.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would tell you, that's one of the, and I had a new agent with me. And he said, dude, he walked out, he's like, oh my gosh, we should have recorded that appointment. Because I can promise you, 99.99% of agents at their current stage and skill level would not have made a sale
ever
that came out of their account in that appointment. I guarantee it.
Yeah, no way.
Which is why you're watching, which is why I'm spitting out knowledge to you, which is why we're so jacked up, which is why we're touching on this topic. Because you have to know how to ask tough questions.
You got to.
And you know what? When they give you objections like, hey, we've never let anyone take out money out of our bank account, or never giving our bank account information in the last 40 years, ever. And what's funny is they'd already bought from another agent a few weeks before that. Guess what? He had never collected money because they were going to wait till they got the policy to send money. Guess who didn't earn a client and who didn't earn a commission?
That guy.
That dude. Because he didn't know what he was doing.
He didn't ask
and
questions.
I hope he's watching right now because I can promise you next time you can get the sale button.
You'll close it.
Which is so true. Okay, so 92% of agents fail in this business in 3 years.
Absolutely.
92% of agents do not make it to the 3-year mark because they ask wrong. They say that leads don't work. They say that, you know what, instead of saying from now on, I'm going to just say that agents don't work.
Yeah.
Agents just don't know what they're doing.
No.
Because they don't soak up valuable content. They don't become a master of their craft.
Yeah.
They don't absolutely become obsessed with what they do.
Well, and the thing about it is leads work. They do. Why are other people
100%.
using leads and making a lot of money doing it? And you're not. It's because you don't work. You are not asking the right questions.
We get it all the time where, hey, leads don't work. I've made sales with leads where it was the wrong number.
Oh, yeah, the wrong person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's but you have to be able to sidestep, get out of the way of those objections, ask the right questions, ask the tough questions, and get the answers.
I love that.
Because if you don't,
you're
never going to make a sale, buddy.
Exactly.
Ever.
All right, so do you know how to ask questions in ways that produce results? Do you know how to get answers to the questions that people are asking? I'm going to give you a live example right now. We have it all the time where someone says, hey, you know what? Prime example A, we talked about it earlier. What's your budget for this? What's your budget look like for something like this? What are you comfortable affording on a monthly basis? You know what, Cody? I don't know. I'll have to look at my budget when you leave. I'm not sure. I need to think about that.
Right.
I don't know. I'll call you back with that. Sure. Whatever.
Yeah.
We get that all the time. Agents, you get it. I get it. We get it.
That's probably the most popular.
Ken probably gets it.
Oh, yeah. Ken gets
when he's selling media packages, website deals.
Oh, yeah.
Video.
Whatever he's doing.
Graphic design. He gets it. All salespeople get it.
Everybody gets it.
But if we allow that, we will never know what we need to know to make the sale. And so when they tell me that, you know what? That's awesome. I appreciate your response. Agree. Answer and ask. So a lot of my clients felt the exact same way, and they told me that. They weren't sure what they could afford.
Right.
I know there's a number in your head that, you know what, I can afford this number. Would it be 30, 50, 70, 90, over $100? What is that number? 90% of the time when I ask a question that way, I get an answer. Sometimes I have to ask the question 3 or 4 times.
Right.
But I was told a long time ago, and I learned a long time ago, and I did it in one house, and it was true. You can ask the same question
1,000 times.
over and over and over and over and over again, as long as you ask it in a slightly different
just
way.
A little bit different. Just tweak it.
Yeah. What's the difference in what's your budget for this?
Right.
Or, hey, what's that number? What are you comfortable spending each month? Or, I know you know a number. Is it 30, 50, or 70? Which of those 3 are more comfortable with?
Right.
Which one is it? Put them on the spot. Or, you know what? Can you afford $50? Just start throwing numbers out there. It don't even matter. Get them to answer your question.
At least get some response back. And if you keep getting the I don't knows, continue asking the question in a different way.
Yeah.
Because you can get the answer. The answer's there. They have a budget.
Yeah.
They would not have let you come to their house if they didn't have an idea of, okay, if we're going to do this, this is the absolute most money we're going to spend. That's what you got to figure out. They're just trying to push you off to the side because they just see you as another pushy salesman. But if you ask the questions the right way and you continue to ask until you get your answer, then you'll get your answer.
You have to get an answer to move on, you
Or
are absolutely implanting it into their head that it's okay to say, I don't know. Because
then
the way I
control.
sell, exactly, the client's in control, you want to be in control. The way I think about it is I want to know that I am getting answers along the way.
Right.
If I can get them to make decisions on the little stuff, I have a better chance of getting them to pick a plan, price, and option when we get to the close.
Yeah.
But if I've got a bunch of I don't knows, or I'm not sure, or when I do my 5 benefits presentation and ask them to pick, hey, or just take it away from them, are any of these important to you?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They all are. Well, which one do you like the best?
Right.
Get them to pick, because when you get to the close, it is so much easier to get them to pick, get them to make a decision if you're getting them to say yes and buy along the way.
Yeah. Well, you're conditioning them to
make a decision.
Say yes, to make decisions. When you ask a question, you're expecting an answer. And the more questions you ask that they answer, the more likely, like Cody just said, they are conditioned and they are able to give you that final yes, to say, okay, I can afford $55 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got these 3 plans here, this price, and this price. Which one would you like? Yeah. And they're going to make a decision because they've already given you 15 other answers.
Right.
So they're ready for it and they know it's coming.
He's expecting me to choose, baby. Yeah. He's expecting me to make a decision.
It's coming. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming.
He's expecting it.
And that's what you got to do.
So know what you want for an answer.
Right.
And what you're expecting before you ask. When I ask a question, I have to know the answer so that I can ask it in a way where I get the answer.
Right.
So for example, let's just say the checking or savings account question. Hey, are you going to be paying with a checking or savings account? And they say, I don't know. Well, because I could say, okay, how do you plan to pay for this? Right. It's just a broad question. It's not specific, so I don't like it. Mm-hmm. Specific would be something like, hey, are you planning to pay with this for a checking or savings? Right. Kind of either or option. It's specific, it's direct. Yeah. Get them to pick. Well, there's other ways, like a way to not ask a question, which a lot of agents do. Are you okay with it coming out of your bank account, being taken from your bank account every week? That sounds horrible.
That's awful.
That sounds awful. Yeah. You know what? I'm assuming that you pay with all this stuff with your checking account.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah.
As I shake my head, are we in agreement? That's what you normally do, right? Right.
Yep.
Or do you have a problem with paying with your bank account and giving out that stuff?
Are you comfortable giving me your account
Are you guys
number?
Are you just catching on to this? Are you seeing this? Are you feeling this?
I would not feel comfortable. If someone asked me that way, hey,
either.
Are you comfortable with me taking your account? No, I'm not comfortable with you taking my account information.
Because you didn't
ask.
Yeah, you didn't ask right. You didn't expect the right answer. No. You didn't assume. When I ask you, hey, I'm assuming you pay with all this with what is it, a checking or savings? Checking.
There it is.
Prime example A, ask questions the right way and you will get answers the right way. Yeah. I ask questions, before I ever ask a question, there's a minute second of thought so that I'm asking it the perfect, and you know what, I say perfect, that's because I've been doing it long enough. Right. You don't have to be perfect. It's just got to be. You got to be setting expectations. Yeah. You got to gain agreement. You got to be shaking your head. You got to get them into it.
Yeah.
When I first started selling, I would door knock at 19, selling final expense life insurance door to door. I would door knock at 19. I would have so much energy. Oh, yeah. I would get clients so jacked up and excited. That was my sales presentation. Yeah. You know what? I can do it without all the extra crazy motivation now. But it's still. But it works. You know what? It still works. Yeah. It still works. I've had agents where they will ride along. They will come with me. We'll door knock. We'll call leads. We'll go out. And you know what? A lot of it is you aren't confident enough.
Right.
Agents don't. They're not confident enough to say, "Hey, Mr. Joe, are we going to be using a checking or savings, sir?"
Right. Probably checking.
Okay, great. Good.
Yeah. And it's that easy. But again, guys, don't be afraid to ask the hard questions. Yeah. Because that's the biggest problem is the question isn't ever asked.
Yeah.
They kind of tiptoe around it, beat around the bush, and okay, well, this is going to be a monthly payment.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Do you think you'll pay with maybe a checking or saving?
Exactly.
What are you thinking? They don't even know what they're thinking.
Exactly.
So you have to say, okay.
It's got to be confident.
Yeah, it's got to be confident. Hey, I know, you make your other, what do you usually make your other bill payments with? Is it a checking or savings account? We'll check. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let me start, and then go right into the account information.
What's the name of your bank?
What's the name of your bank? And start off.
Great. What's your account number?
And
I'm assuming you have that. What's your account number?
Right. And then, or if they're not sure, another thing I like doing is just go tell them grab a checkbook. Because a lot of people don't know their account information offhand.
You can politely tell people what to do without it coming across as being bossy.
Yeah, and you just have to ask, again, the whole premise of the show, ask the right way. Because there's a wrong way to ask something.
Like a true salesperson.
Ask like a salesperson. Come on. It's not that hard, guys. You just got to do it. And that's the biggest thing.
But if you don't know what you want for an answer and you don't start trying to assume it, you will not get the answer that you want. You just won't. I'm telling you. Okay, so also, don't ever leave a question unanswered. We talked about that. Never, ever, ever. I will not ever. I can promise you. I don't care if I'm asking my wife where we want to go out to eat. She has been conditioned. When I ask questions, I get responses.
Yep.
That's the way I live my life. I'm a salesperson.
Amen.
When I ask questions, I expect a response, and
Yep.
I do that in all aspects of my life.
Yeah.
I'll have agents all the time, or someone in the office, and I'll ask them a question. They'll say, "You know what? Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, if you did know, what would you say? Well, how would you respond?
Right.
Yeah, I'd probably say this. Okay, well, that's what they would pick. So,
that's their
that's their answer.
They knew. They just, and that's the thing is, clients especially, everyone especially, when you're asked a question that you're uncomfortable answering, you're automatically gonna say you don't know. That is just it's just a tick in your head.
100%.
When someone comes up and asks you, hey, you got $5? I don't know. Hey, can I borrow your pen? I don't know if I got one. I mean, just anything you think of.
Yeah.
So when you ask the question, ask it the right way. Ask it assuming that you're gonna get the answer that you want, and you'll get the answers that you want.
Yeah, and you want to be. We talked about being in control, assuming the answer you want. Be prepared for either answer.
Yeah, be prepared for either.
I want the answer to go this way, but I'm a consummate professional. I'm a salesperson. So if they give me an answer that I'm not used to or that I'm not expecting, I've still got to be able to roll with the punches.
Right.
And roll when they give me an answer that I'm not expecting.
Yeah.
That I don't truly get. That I didn't want.
Right.
That I didn't expect. That I didn't love. But we're going to turn it into something we love. We are going to turn that frown
upside down.
All right. So one way gets results and one way doesn't.
Right.
If we ask questions one way, like the examples we gave, it may not get the answer we want.
Right.
But there's other ways that get results. And after 7 years of conditioning myself to do this, it comes second nature now.
It does.
Most salespeople don't understand that it's not the client, it's not the lead, it's them.
Yeah,
they do not know how to ask questions to get responses. 100%. They're not always positive. They make excuses. They're negative. They don't assume things. They don't expect certain answers. They don't require that they get their questions answered. There's tons of these things that are just floating around that affect us that we don't get.
Right, and they all add up.
Yeah.
To failure.
I would say that this is arguably the most important video I have ever done in my life.
Easily.
If you master this, you will be a millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
There is no question about it.
At all.
I would say that if we sold, it's free. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Whatever. But we could have sold this specific video for $1,000.
Oh, easy.
And I can promote it that I would have gotten takers.
Oh, yeah.
I am that confident
100%.
in what we are talking about.
Yeah, because these are the building blocks to making a sale. Any sale, doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't have to be insurance. If you're not asking questions and asking questions the right way and being prepared for whatever that client has to say, you will fail.
Yep. Ask questions the right way. Exactly. You don't want to fail. Enough agents fail as it is. That's what we're doing. We're doing because we want you to fail. And
nobody gets in this business to fail.
No.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so ask questions the right way. Phrase questions in a way that's going to give you the answer that you desire. Mm-hmm. Also, when you're asking for an appointment.
Yeah.
Hey, instead of, is it okay if I come over to your house for an important appointment? That's horrible.
Ugh.
Or you could say, hey, I'm going to be in your area. Would you prefer, I'm going to be in your area on Thursday. Would you prefer morning or afternoon? Or
10 o'clock or 2
you sound like an afternoon person. Am I right?
Right.
Would you rather 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? you're probably going to say 4. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah.
It's just a matter of doing it. Also, taking a step further, asking for the appointment. Once you get to the appointment, you got to ask questions. Right? We're going to walk through the sales process.
Yep.
Ask for the appointment. Get the appointment. Get in the house. Ask the tough questions. Get responses to those tough questions. Who's your beneficiary? How much can you afford to pay each month? What's your budget? How much coverage do you want? What do you feel like you need? Do you plan to pay with this for checking or savings? You've got to be able to get answers to these questions, and you've got to be able to roll through the sales process while you're getting answers to your questions. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Also, asking for the business.
Yep.
We transitioned to close.
Yeah.
We've presented. We've built value. Now we're in the close.
Gotta close,
You
man.
have to ask for the business.
You're never gonna get. They're never just gonna give it to you without you asking.
99% of the time, you will not make a sale if you do not ask.
Right. There's those slim.
And you know what? And there's times where it could be lower. Maybe it's 95%.
Right.
I'd rather take my chances on the 1 to 5 and the. I mean, it's all about when you get to the close, ask for the business. Get the answers to the questions. You know what? And when we go for the close, there's a lot of times in final expense, I keep it really simple.
Yeah.
I build value. I go over the 5 benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I write down 3 options. These 3 options come with all 5 of these benefits, and I know you like the price lock because you talked about it. It's important to you, and I agree. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Would you prefer $5,000 at $50, $10,000 at $100, or $15,000 at $150? Which would you prefer?
And then shut up.
You could phrase it another way. Which of these are the most? Which do you like the best?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting them to choose when I go over my 5 benefits presentation, which we talked about. It's in other videos. It's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I get them to pick.
Right.
A lot of times they pick the price log. A lot of times they pick the whole life. Sometimes they like a local agent.
Right.
They don't normally pick double indemnity for accident or builds cash or none of that.
Right.
But you're getting them to pick, and then when you get to the close, there's tons of different ways to close.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? They say, you know what? I don't know. Let me think about it. I think that I'm gonna give a live demonstration. I think that is awesome. I respect your opinion. Unfortunately, we have a no callback rule in our office. Just because you have everything that you need to make an informed, educated decision. And we've talked about this. You need it, you want it, you can afford it. Why don't you just take it?
Why don't we just do it?
Or if they say, you know what, I just don't want to do it right now.
Right. Or let me talk to my kids.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
You know what? Or do you plan to purchase this in the future? Yes. Let's take time out of the equation. I'm already here. Let's see if we can get you approved. Yeah. Right? What's your full legal name?
And just go. And assume. You see what he did there? He walked right into it and assumed. He assumed
confidently assumed
that they are going. He has bypassed that objection. He has overcome that objection, and he has sidestepped and moved right on. And they will move on with you. When you have control of the appointment, when you have control of the conversation, the clients will move along with you. It's almost like you've got a rein on them, and you're just walking them, and they are following you. And as long as you have control and you're respectful, be respectful, you will get the business.
What about asking for referrals? That's something we have to talk about.
It's huge.
That's at the end. I'm also asking confirming questions about the sale. Hey, are you happy with your decision?
Is there any reason?
I'm assuming you plan to keep this for the rest of your life because it's awesome. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Ask confirming questions. I mean, is there any questions that you have? Is there anything you're not comfortable with? Is there anything you're not 100% pleased with?
Right.
Is there anything else I can do or that I could have done that would have made you like it more?
Right.
I have to ask those things, and then you can move into referrals.
Yeah.
I know there's, and the way I like to ask is instead of saying, "Do you know anyone?"
Right.
I hate that. Mm-hmm. I absolutely hate that.
Everybody knows somebody.
Do you know anyone that also needs to buy life insurance? No. Who's going to answer that question with a yes? No. Who's going to give you a name? That is horrible.
Yeah, you don't see. You sound like a creep. I mean, hey, is there anybody else you know that would need life insurance?
Yeah.
No, there's nobody else I know.
So
what's the best way to ask?
The best way to ask, in my opinion, the way I like to ask is, hey, before I ask you this question, I know someone's going to come in your head. It always does.
Always does.
And before I ask the question, did you see value from what we did here today? If they don't see value, they're not going to refer anybody.
Oh, no.
Did you see value from what we did here today? Yes or no?
Again, another tough question. Typically, I guarantee you 99.99% of the agents out there would never ask that question because they're afraid that the client's going to say no.
And it's 100% second nature. Okay, and then moving referrals. Hey, okay, because you saw value, and I know that that other people will see value as well. Before I ask you this, someone's going to pop in your head. They always do. Just kidding. I know you know someone that also needs what we have to offer. Who popped in your head? A name always pops in.
Always.
They always give me a name.
At least one.
It always works, but I don't do the random. Who do you know? I say that I know you know someone.
Right.
That also needs what we're doing today.
Yeah.
That would like for us to shop your life insurance.
Yeah.
That would also like the idea of I know you know someone that we can also help.
Yeah.
Who just popped into your head?
And I hate the guys who leave the referral sheets.
Yeah,
they leave a sheet with 10 spaces on there, and they set it down. They say, "Hey, I'm going to call you back in a week, and I want you to put some names on here."
Like someone's going to write down 10 names.
Get it while you're there. Why would you not want to get it while you're there? So when you're walking out of the house, getting in the car, you can call that person. You can set your next appointment.
If it's important, I will get it while I'm still there. Yeah. Just like making the sale.
Yeah, I mean it's.
What else can we add to how to ask like a sales? This has been the most informative, educational, sick video we've ever done. I can guarantee that. How to ask how to properly ask like a salesperson. What else can we add before we jump into fan mail from this past week?
Oh, well, I mean, the biggest thing I would say, and again, we've touched on this, quite a few times, but just ask the tough question.
Right.
When you are to the point where it's time to start getting the bank information. It's time to start getting that personal information. It's time to start doing that. Don't shy away from it. Don't change your attitude. Don't change your intensity. Don't change your energy.
Keep your same countenance.
Be the same person all the way through. High energy, super respectful, super nice. And when you're moving into the personal information, the touchy information that people don't like to give out, keep that same level of intensity. So if you're up here when it's time to ask for the banking information, stay up here. Don't now some people aren't comfortable giving this information out, but
if you preface it and implant negative thoughts into their head, I can promise you they will respond negatively.
Yeah, you have to give them
that drives me
positive. You have to give them the energy to feed off of. And if you're answering, hey, when you pay your bills, do you typically pay with checking or savings account? Checking.
They will respond how you want them to.
Yeah, checking.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the name of your bank? And just go into it. And let's get your routing number. Okay, and what's your account number? Great. And what day of the month do you want this drawn out?
Right. And he's reading stuff right off of our telesales life insurance lead script.
It's right there, guys.
Which we're giving away for $100 over on the website.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? And it feels like it because we've had multiple people take advantage of it. When you're selling over the phone, if you don't have that script, the telesales, the complete sales process, consummating the entire sale, how to roll from, hey, I'm looking for Joanne, to, hey, thanks for your business. That script makes it easy because it already words the questions the way you should ask. Yeah. It is incredible. We're giving it away for $100 at secureagentmentor.com in the store at secureagentmentor.com. It's incredible.
I would buy a $100 script that's going to make me $10,000 a week every day of the week. No question.
Let's jump into some fan mail. We had an agent ask us what an avatar lead is. We went over that. An avatar lead is a pre-recorded disposition lead where you get a telemarketer clicking buttons to talk to the client.
Working a sound.
Those are banned as of May 12th. We've got new telemarketing leads to replace that.
It's Friday.
We also had great video. Took a lot of notes. That was by Mr. Journey. We appreciate that. Also, John said, does $12,716 means that it is how much you got paid, or how does that work when you're making sales over the phone? The numbers that I ran, we put a video up how I sold 19 apps in 1 week over the phone for $12K, almost $13K. That was annual premium that we were talking about.
Right.
And so that's what when we put numbers up, we're normally talking about annual premium. We're not talking about actual commission.
Commission.
Another agent said, hey, you mentioned you have your life and health insurance license. Do you also sell MedSups, MedAdvantage,
you bet.
PDPs? We do, absolutely. I love final expense. I put an emphasis on final expense and life insurance, but we also do those other things for people. And so that's a few of the.
That's a good wrap up of some of the fan mail.
We also had Robert who put a comment on our Facebook page. Yep. Hey, appreciate the video. Awesome info.
Thanks, Robert. Hope you're watching today, bud.
Yep. We also had an agent from North Carolina. We read the positive story. We also had another agent from Canada that gave us. So we're going global. We're international. They gave us a positive comment through our site. So today, to wrap up and to get you jacked and to make sure that you transition, you've got to ask questions the right way.
You have to.
Phrase questions the way you want. Assume they're going to give you an answer you want. Expect a certain answer.
Yeah.
Know what answer you want, and get answers to your questions.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's asking questions, asking for the appointment, asking tough questions, the business, referrals, etc. It is all down into how you ask.
How you ask.
If you get no's, it's because you don't know how to ask questions.
Yes. It's all about how your vocabulary, how you are literally asking them the question.
Exactly.
And there's two ways to ask a question. There's a right way and a wrong way.
Yeah.
And you want to ask the right way every single time.
The main event every Monday at 3 o'clock. Mr. Jacob, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm Cody Askins. We are Secure Agent Mentor. Every Monday, 3 o'clock, the main event. This is how to act like a salesperson. We wish you an incredible week. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, guys.
Facebook world, what is up? Thank you so much for being on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for choosing to know how to ask questions, to know how to sell, to get answers to the questions that you ask, to absolutely get into it, man. I mean, you've got to.
And never leave with a question unanswered.
Right.
Never leave unless they are just not giving you anything. Right. They're locked down. You know you're wasting your time. Never leave with an unanswered question, because you will not get the sale.
Exactly.
You will not get the sale.
Also, you can hear our outro music on YouTube. Go over to our YouTube, Secure Agent Mentor. We've even got a custom URL on YouTube now, youtube.com/Secure Agent Mentor. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like and share this video.
Absolutely.
Please like Secure Agent Mentor on Facebook, on YouTube.
Share this. And you know what? Do us a favor. If you're watching it right now, share it, or at least comment.
Right, or give us a thumbs up.
Comment with another insurance agent's name that you know, and go ahead and tag them into this post.
We know you know one.
Go ahead and tag them into this post.
Tag them.
Get specific. When you ask questions, get specific.
Get specific. Hey, we know there's an agent out there.
That's right.
What's her name?
100%. Hey, thanks so much for being on. Thanks for watching us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.